Today I get the chance to interview legendary voiceover artist, comedic actor, announcer, and the voice of the former TV program Late Night with Conan O'Brien, Joe Godard. He's appeared in hundreds of unique comedy skits. He's a hilarious guy, talented linguist. Check out the interview.
I was hired as the voiceover announcer, to scream the opening,
You do the late night. How do you do that?
Well, I evolved into...
It's such an insanely loud voice when you do it.
From New York, it's Late Night with Conan O'Brien!
Oh, I love that sound. That's so great. I can't do that. I don't have... I'd be like, Late Night with guests, forget it. What's it like working with Conan? Was that an interesting experience?
Yes. A couple of things I'll tell you about Conan. They're all complimentary, by the way. I don't have anything scatological, any scatological stories. But Conan was always nice to me. He was always very kind to me, very decent to me. He treated me as a professional. And, I have no complaints at all about how Conan treated me. He was very gracious to me. Another thing I'll say about him. There was a guy named John Harty, spelled H-A-R-T-Y.
Harty?
Yes, Harty.
Harty?
Yeah,
sounds almost British. Is it British?
I'm not sure. I never asked it. It sounds it. Yes. So,
all right.
Anyway, he was a stagehand with the show. Very much respected around there. He retired halfway through my time there. An extremely knowledgeable man who's working on a book about film. And believe me, he's a treasure trove of information about that and many other subjects. But he, you see, New York crew, they've seen him come and go. They've seen them all come and go, mostly go. And they...
Mostly go. I love the way you said that. Mostly go.
I like the way you say it better.
Right.
But so, you don't automatically impress New York crew. Perhaps you've heard that.
Okay.
And Hardy said that listening to Conan during rehearsals is like a master course in comedy writing, because we'd be at rehearsals, and these guys that write, they run these sketches by them, and Conan would say, all right, now first of all, you want to run this, you want to move this part, this line over down here because the reveal is coming too soon, but you want to do this or do that because something else doesn't work. And he was always right. And I came home after one of those experiences. I told Teddy, I said, where does this guy, well, I probably said kid, he was probably about 30 at the time. I said, where does this kid get all this stuff? He hasn't lived long enough to know this. And he was big at Harvard. He was big at Harvard and all, but they don't teach, as far as I know, they don't teach comedy at Harvard.
Right.
So I would have expected George, or Alan King, or some of those guys to know these things. But they had been in the business longer, twice as long as Conan's been living. Where does he get this stuff? And she said, he gets it instinctively. That's talent. And that must be true. He hadn't had time to learn it, you understand?
Right. So it's like a gut instinct sort of,
yes.
As opposed to, I guess it's true that comedy and acting and sensibility must be, it's from the heart, I suppose, right? It's like you can teach and tweak the technique, but in the end it's either in you or it isn't.
I think that's exactly right.
Unless you have some kind of you knock your head on a sink and then suddenly you come out you're like brilliant, like bong, and I can act, or something weird happens like that.
I'm Eleanor Roosevelt, and I can
act. Exactly. Right. You think of someone else. Right. Exactly. But I want to ask you this, because this is what is fascinating me. Is why didn't you go to LA as well? You were such a pivotal character on the show.
Well, thank you. Contrary to the assumption of many people, it wasn't because I didn't want to leave New York or I wanted to retire. I wanted to work until the last day thereof in this, as many other performers had.
Right.
And Burt Mustin, I think, died at 96, and he had a gig at the time. I don't know if he was on set, but he had a gig at the time.
Okay.
I think his name was Ed Hurley, the wonderful voice guy who did craft foods for so many decades. He was still doing craft stuff, and I think he lived to 93. Guy up in Boston, I think. That's what I wanted to do. Well, they left me on the curb, is what it amounted to.
Really? So it was more just they wanted to take it a whole different direction, and
yes,
you were kind of like smiling, like, what is this all about?
Yes.
Right.
No, they did explain to me, but I didn't buy all of the explanation. They wanted someone who was stronger on improv, and I've never, three things I've never advertised myself as. No sports, I don't advertise being competent in sports.
I know nothing about sports, I can't stand them.
I'm
no
not
legs,
a journalist.
makes it hard.
Because I used to do, you can't imagine my being an anchor man, a news anchor, but I did that, and I wasn't bad at it. But I never sold myself as a journalist. I was a studio announcer.
Right,
you write it right, I'll read it right. Thank you. And it had broken Conan's heart when Andy left the show in I think it was, 1999. So he wanted to come back. They wanted Andy, and they wanted Andy as both announcer and occasionally being sidekick. They said that's what they said at the time. I thought that we should have done it the way we did late night the first 6 or 7 years, and that was with me as the announcer and with Andy on the couch as sidekick.
Right, I like that format. I think that's the classic format in many
And he
ways.
was great at that, wasn't he?
Oh, it was
Great
fantastic.
sidekick.
Yeah, incredible.
I didn't think announcing was his strong point, but being on the couch, I could have been a sidekick.
They should have thrown you on the couch.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I would have been better than Andy as a sidekick. But this worked fine with late night. So they said that the network didn't want to pay for both of us. I think that's what they said. And
networks are notoriously cheap, right?
But we're thinking, if Conan had really wanted me, he would have said, look, I wanted, this Conan was the golden boy, the $1 million baby. If he'd said, by God, I want Joel Goddard, to have him, I think they would have done that. And I think they should have. Also, they misused Andy out there, I think. They had him at a podium.
He seemed kind of far away, didn't he?
Yeah,
like
35
way,
feet
like
away.
great
That's
joke.
it.
And then we
That's
zoom
it.
over to you, and you're like, he's like, yeah, it is funny. Hello.
That's it. Hey,
Right.
Conan, that was funny.
What was that?
Exactly.
It's funny. Right. It
Right.
felt like it was like it wasn't as intimate.
Right. They should have done it if they weren't going to have two guys. They at least should have had him read the spiel and then go right over to the couch the way.
That's a good
Andy
idea.
did
Right. I like that
over the
idea.
years. And I understand that in the later weeks, I didn't see the show then, that he spent more time on the couch there, where I thought he was...
Right. Well, the couch is
Very
intimate.
good.
It's
He was
nice. I mean,
great.
we're on a nice
He was
couch
great.
right here. It's like
Yeah.
intimate. We're
He was great.
having good couchy times.
Yeah,
Perhaps
but I don't think
drinks.
he's a voiceover guy.
Right.
Or an announcer, So that was it. That's why. But that's what I was told.
Now, there's rumors, of course, there's always rumors of like a TBS thing or something. Are you ever going back to that, or are you're writing now, I understand, writing a book, or writing several books,
yes,
right?
And I was thinking about this long before all this happened, before I knew I was going to LA. Pardon me. I have about 4 books in mind. The first one, of course, is about my time in radio, starting many years ago, long time ago.
How long ago?
Yes.
Jeez, that sounded whispering long ago. Must mean it's very. When it's whispered, it's long ago.
Yes. And then the second book will be a G-rated book about a goose that I knew in Montauk, and we can back it up with video and
Geese scare me. They always try biting me.
Befriended me.
Geese and dogs scare me. They're the two things. I was encountering a dog and he was nice, but geese.
Yes. We have a wonderful little beagle named Zoe. She has been known to chew up the little puppets, hand puppets, sock puppets we gave her.
Right. She didn't bite
nice
me.
to you.
I want to thank you again so much. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Do you shake hands?
I do shake hands. It's a little bit. It doesn't move.
Thank you.
But everybody, this is Joel Goddard. Check out the books when they come out. We'll be promoting them.
And my website?
The website.
Joel Goddard, www.joelgoddard.tv. But remember, it's the French spelling like Godard.
Okay, so we'll plaster it up there so you folks don't get confused.
Yeah.
And thank you so much again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to go have more drinks. I need drinks. Oh, hello, Zoe. Hello. And this is Joel Goddard's dog. And okay.